The new Dr. Aphra comics have introduced a mythical artifact to the galaxy called the Rings of Vaale. They were supposedly able to grant their wearers eternal life and endless fortune. I'm very into the treasure hunting aspect of Dr. Aphra's character, and the rings intrigue me, so today I'm going to talk about everything we know about them and speculate on their future. Right off the top, there were rumors that the Rings of Vaale were cursed. Legends state that they were held in a haunted city made of living stone guarded by some sort of ancient order. The city was on Dianth, and long ago the supposed curse on the rings corrupted the entire planet. The once prosperous city fell into ruin, as did the atmosphere around it. Any explorer who ventured there never returned or went completely insane. Despite all the warnings and general common sense, Aphra and her friends traveled to the lost city of Vaale. There they learned that the city was indeed carved out of living stone of a sort. It was made up of bone, complete with freaky, moving faces. One member of Aphra's team complained about constantly hearing a mysterious sound none of the others could. As they traveled inside, they found a map to a workshop and an underground passageway. The pathway included images and warnings about the rings. The Sapphire Gem granted eternal life at the cost of its wearer's sanity. The Crimson Gem granted wealth, but would bring about the wearer's death much sooner. But worn together, the rings would bless the wearer with fortune, eternal life, and abilities rivaling a Force user. But the group's path ended at a locked door, guarded by the barely living and horrible remains of another explorer. It was guessed that the living stone was none other than the architects of the rings, granted a twisted and terrible form of eternal life after all. But Aphra realized that her entire group seemed to be hallucinating different things during their search. Unfortunately, their hypothesizing was put on pause as they triggered a trap and were separated. That's all we know as of the second issue of the series, but I'm really digging this story so far, and I want to discuss some things about these mysterious rings. First, I wonder if they could appear in the High Republic era somehow. Star Wars always strikes a balance between science fiction and science fantasy, but the Rings of Vaale sound very fantasy to me. The inspiration for the High Republic is said to be leaning more towards the fantasy side of things as well, and those in charge of it have described it as kind of a Jedi Knights of the Round Table feel. Maybe some members of the Order will go on a similar quest as Arthur in the Holy Grail, which was also said to grant immortality. Maybe there'll be a group of Jedi Knights whose job it is to seek out and contain powerful relics such as these. Or maybe the Nile will seek it out to even the playing field between them and the Jedi. After all, they supposedly grant powers to rival the Force. What's more is the comic references the High Republic twice. One of the archaeologists searching for the rings was noted by Aphra as reading Lost Legends of the High Republic. She was eventually kicked out of her university for her research into the rings, so that book could very well be related to our main story. And in the caverns of the lost city of Vaale, Aphra points out the murals being full of High Republic iconography. The legends about the city make it sound thousands of years old, but it's looking more like all of this happened only 2 centuries earlier. Now, I don't expect the Rings of Vaale to be central to any story of the High Republic. The conflict between the Jedi and the Nile sounds like the focus. Maybe the rings will get a mention, or the destruction of Vaale will or something, but already I like that Dr. Aphra is tying the High Republic into more of a high fantasy setting with magical relics such as these. I look forward to seeing how this arc wraps up, but let me know what you think of the Rings of Vaale in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.